Hey SQL Server fans, this is Lee Everest. Haven't done a video in a little while, so went ahead and decided to do one here because we're running a little series here on dynamic SSIS packages, and so I thought it'd be fitting that I go ahead and do a little vid here for this one. This is the fourth installment, so if you have not gone through the first three, you might want to go ahead and do so. So where we're at right now is you should have a configuration database here with some tables, and we're going to do the export package, dynamic package first, and then we'll do the import on a later blog post. So these are the tables that we're interested in for this particular blog here. The export dynamic params, the export server params, and then I've got another table here that just holds delimiters that you can specify dynamically. I've got A for the @ sign and C for comma delimited, etc. So I think I've got C wired up right now, so we're going to do comma delimited on all of ours. So anyway, if we what you're going to get today is you're going to get this guy right here. This is actually the one of two dynamic packages that I'm going to have in this series. I've got 3 or 4 more, but these are the ones that we're going to talk about here that are going to allow us to import and export data on the fly. So if you have 1,000 packages, you don't need to worry about creating 1,000 control flows, data flows, pipelines, mappings, etc. And keeping up with those, because this thing is going to be able to do it dynamically. And so it's just one package, right? We've got one package to export, and then we have one package to load. So this is what the thing looks like here, and we've got basically 4 tasks, I guess 3, and then one embedded here, just a looper here, and then a script task. So this first one here is going to be the server parameters to set all of the variables for the particular server parameters, and this one is the dynamic parameter that will house the more dynamic type things that as we loop through this package, for instance, table names, log files, output files, etc. Those are going to be dynamic, so that's how I classify those. And so these are just exec SQL tasks, and if we go look inside of those things, this is what you get. The first one is very simple, and this is the second one for the dynamic ones. Again, this is the server static parameters, and this is the dynamic parameters. And I just run both of those. You can see that what I have here is I've got a source database name and a source server name for the static parameters, and then the dynamic parameters I have some various stuff here that we can take a look at real quick. The data warehouse source table, the out file name, the out file path, the log file path, log file name, log file path, etc. And then the dynamic SQL select statement, which is just going to be put into a column in a table, and then of course as I mentioned, the particular delimiter for that export. And so that's basically what I'm looking at here. Let's look at the package real quick, because this is the package that I have here on the website for you. So if we go look at this thing again, 2 exec SQL tasks, I'll let you look at those, and we've got this this loop here, and actually this dynamic parameter one is the one that's going to be in the loop variable. If we look at that one, that's one of these guys right here, one of those system object data types. Okay, and so what I've got here again is, let's flip back one more time. What I'm going to do here is when I run this thing, I'm going to go to this server and this database, and which is this guy right here, and I'm going to go get the contents out of this guy, and I'm going to export it to something called ETL file1.txt. I'm going to stick it here on my, this is actually a Hyper-V cluster here at my home. If you don't have one, I suggest you go get one, because they're a lot of fun to dork with, and pretty inexpensive to set up also. I've got some blogs out there if you want to learn how to set up a Hyper-V cluster there at your house. So this is where the package out file is going to go, and by the way, I am on my cluster here, SQL clustnet backslash SQL clust is the name of my cluster here. Log file, we're not going to use it on this cut here. Log file path, not going to use that, and we are going to use the rest of this. So what's going to happen here is I am going to show you, this is my this is SQL clustnet and the M drive, and of course the output folder, which is what we had over here. So what this thing's going to do is it's going to run, and again it's going to take the contents right out of here and it's going to stick it into this file here. This is the select statement. That's what it's going to delimit each column by, and then it's going to loop back through until it finishes all of them here. Totally table driven, this thing. You only have to write one package and it'll handle all of your export needs. How about that? So let's actually run this guy. I'm going to hit F5 right here. By the way, it's extremely fast. And so I've got 2 files done. We'll just shut this guy off here. We'll go back to my output folder, and you can see I've got data here. I've got nothing much but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the first file. Second file's got a little bit more. 3 columns there are comma delimited, and looks like an integer, a couple of strings, and then a date. Let's go back and take a look here and verify in our SQL Server what we actually had in there. So if we go and we select, we can see that we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then if we select on this guy, you can see we moved everything out of both of those tables and ran those and exported them to these files here. So, you know, that's really about it. The only reason I wanted to do this is because I wanted to, this video is to make sure that you had everything down. You had the configuration database. If you don't have that, again, go back and get that and run that. And then you're going to create a database called test and put a couple of table names in there. They don't have to be these table names, certainly. You know, they can be whatever you want them to be. Just make sure and follow the conventions here. If you notice that there's not, after the output folder, there's not a backslash here. There's not any kind of backslashes here. There's not a backslash here after my folder name. You have to set everything up like you see here in the video, because if you don't, it's probably not going to run properly. So what I'd like to do is download this stuff and get it set up and get it working, and then we'll come back next time and we'll do the import piece of this. We'll take these exact files that we just created, if you want. Well, we can take them and stick them right back into the database, and then on some follow-ups we will go look at this code, and because there's a lot to it. What are we doing here basically? Well, what we're doing here, let's get this one over here to this window, and I did write this, and this is written in VB.NET, so if you want to write it in C#, go ahead. I just haven't had time to do that. So essentially what we're doing here is we're creating all of this stuff on the fly, and we're populating variables, and then we're using some of this stuff here. There's a link that I'm going to attach below this video here, and so what I want you to do is if you need a reference, for instance, to let's say something like IDTS metadata or component metadata 100, that you can go to that link there on the MSDN site, and it's programmatically building packages or something like that. Can't remember the name of it, but you'll see the link there, and so you can go use that kind of as a reference. It's a little bit daunting, but we'll spend some follow-up here on some other blogs posts, and we'll go through some of that code line by line, so hopefully everyone understands it by the time we're all finished. So any questions, just send me an email. Again, the goal here is to get the extract package working, get it set up, and then we'll come back and we'll try something else here pretty soon. Alright, as always, Lee Everest, I appreciate you stopping by my blog, getting lots of hits. You guys are making it really popular, and you know, I just want to say thanks. See you again here pretty soon.